So today we're going to be talking about Deborah. Deborah is a female leader and warrior in the Old Testament. And I thought in preparation for that, we would have Robert go up against a Krav Maga instructor. Krav Maga is a type of street fighting in Israel. And so Robert is going up against a young lady today. And what's going to be fun is we're going to watch Robert get his butt kicked by a girl. Just know when we got up this morning, he was like super nervous. And I was super excited. This is going to be great. All right, so we're here today in Rachel's Krav Maga studio. Tell us a little bit, what is Krav Maga?
So Krav Maga is not a martial arts. What the goal is to get out of any dangerous situation as fast as you can. It's to do the maximum damage in the minimum time. And that's why it's amazing for absolutely anyone. What we do is we teach women and children how to defend themselves.
Okay.
From the age of 3.5 to...
About to turn 37.
That's fine. You're good. You're good.
Now your name is on it. Are you kind of famous?
I was the head instructor in the IDF.
Which IDF stands for?
For Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah.
And so I was the only woman doing so, and I was in charge of teaching the whole army and certifying hundreds of Krav Maga instructors, and I was the only woman doing so. So I was kind of army famous.
Yeah, but Army famous is famous because everybody here is in the Army
Right.
at some point. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Robert grew up on the really tough streets of Chandler, Arizona.
Chandler, for life, you guys.
Eye of the tiger.
Yeah. This is really important. I wanted you. Yeah, that's my daughter Emma. Gabe's 11. Corbin's 9.5. That's my beautiful wife Lindsay. They would all love to see me. If you could just, I came here looking like this. If I could go home still kind of looking similar.
I'll do my best.
That'd be
I
great.
can't promise anything,
Yeah.
but I'll definitely do my best.
Yeah.
My name is Rachel Shear. I'm 26 years old. I teach Krav Maga and self-defense for women and children all over Israel.
My name's Robert Watson. I'm a teaching pastor at Sun Valley Community Church. I haven't been in a fight since the 6th grade. I went to Bible college, but I got kicked out because I didn't pay my bills.
Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah, okay, but your fingers are going for my eyeballs.
I'm not going to
Okay.
hurt you. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I'm not going to hurt you. Yeah.
Shalom. With my stop, die.
I just want to think about what just happened. Just contemplate it. Gotta learn, you know? If you don't stop and learn from the lessons, it was wasted. So just thinking about it.
So thank you for helping us today. It was really fun watching you beat up on Robert. Thank you. And what a piece of advice do you have for Robert?
You're a great guy. You really are. Keep practicing.
There you go.
Hey, thank you for not killing me.
My
I really
pleasure,
do
my
appreciate that.
pleasure.
Yeah.
And
My family appreciates that too. So I'm here in the northern part of Israel in the Galilee region. And this region is where Jesus did the majority of his ministry. And in this region, there's this valley, and the valley actually extends all the way out west to the Mediterranean. It's this massive valley with mountains to the north and to the south. This valley is called the Jezreel Valley, and it's home to some of the most epic battles in history. A lot of those battles are recorded in the book of Judges in your Bible. In the book of Judges, it's this time period after the people of Israel move into the Promised Land where they're just led by judges. People that God raises up to lead the people, but God is the leader of the people of Israel, so they didn't need a king back then. And in the book of Judges, you have kind of this repeating story. The people of Israel, they get comfortable in the Promised Land. Things are nice, things are going pretty well, so they start turning away from God. They quit relying on God. And eventually some neighboring country comes in and begins to conquer the people, other tribes will move in, and things get really, really bad for the people of Israel. And then once that happens, they cry out to God, God, would you rescue us? And God raises up a judge to help lead the people out of this captivity, to lead the people out of whatever kind of occupation is going on, and to bring them back to a time of peace and to refocus their hearts on God. So that story repeats again and again in the book of Judges. And so the people of Israel, they lose focus, and the Canaanite army moves in. And Yabin is this king of the Canaanites, and he's got a commander of his army named Sisera. And Sisera has 900 iron chariots, and they conquer the people of Israel, and they're oppressing the people of Israel. For 20 years, they're not at peace. And then God raises up this woman named Deborah. And Deborah, she calls for this guy named Barak and says, Barak, I want you to come here because God is calling you, and you haven't been listening. I want you to come here, and we're going to go fight Sisera. And Barak says, I'll go, gather some men together, only if, Deborah, you'll go with me. So Barak's kind of afraid. He's going, okay, you want us to fight Sisera and 900 iron chariots. And Deborah says, no, here, God is with us. God goes before us. This is okay. Everything's going to be okay. Be strong, be courageous, quit being afraid. You can be unafraid to fight because God is with you. So what Barak does is he takes 10,000 men, and there's this one mountain in the middle of the Jezreel Valley called Tabor. And he takes them up onto this mountain, which is really strategic because Sisera has these iron chariots, and if he's up on the mountain, it's hard to get the chariots up the mountain, so he has an advantage when Sisera comes out to fight. So as Sisera hears that Barak is there with these men ready to fight, Sisera comes out into the valley ready to fight with his chariots, and Deborah tells Barak, you need to go because God is with us, and you're going to fight them. You're going to give up this strategic advantage, you're going to trust God, and you're going to go out into this valley and fight these chariots on flat land. And so they do exactly that. And God is with them, and they end up conquering, against all military odds, they end up conquering 900 iron chariots with these 10,000 men, all the other warriors, and Sisera escapes. He jumps off his chariot, and he takes off running into the northern country. Then enter another woman into the story, and her name is Jael. And Jael, she lives in a nomadic community that has tents, and they would set up tents. So when Sisera ends up in this tent area, Jael says, hey, you can come here, I'll protect you, you can come into the tent. And so Sisera says, thank you so much, and I'm so thirsty, give me something to drink. And he gets swept under the carpet. He hides under the rug, and then Jael calmly walks over, says, I'm gonna get you something to drink, you just rest. He falls asleep. She picks up a tent peg and a hammer while Sisera sleeps. And she sneaks up, and she puts the tent peg right over the carpet, right over his head, and hammers the tent peg right through this guy's head, right into the ground, pinning him to the ground. And then the Bible, in one of those just kind of Captain Obvious moments, says, and then he died. So there Sisera dies, and the people show up, and Jael says, I've killed him. I know there was diplomatic relations, but I know that God is in this. And so she was unafraid to fight. And because of the courage of Deborah, because of the courage of Jael, now the nation of Israel rallies together, and they end up driving out the Canaanites. And it says that for 40 years, they had peace in the land. See, Deborah was unafraid to fight because she knew that the fight was something God was calling her to. And she was an encourager, and she put courage in Barak. She put courage in those fighting men. And eventually that courage spilled over to Jael, who was willing to risk her own life to fight for what was right. So we can be unafraid to fight when God is the one who's calling us to the fight, because we know that God goes with us. So happy Mother's Day. This has not been your typical Mother's Day Bible story, but thank you for all the women who are unafraid to fight for what's right.